Let us start with focusing upon Botticelli and this singular work, The Birth of Venus. Michelangelo, your thoughts?
Sandro approaches the divine form with reverence, sculpting Venus with a grace that even marble might envy. His work does carry the weeping beauty of Rome's lost glory, each line and form a silent hymn to the past. Yet in this devotion I find a softness, a lack in the rigorous challenge that stone demands.
True, Michelangelo, but consider the ingenuity behind Botticelli's choice. An ethereal blend of art and science breathes life into Venus, a curiosity explored within the constraints of canvas. His detailed execution bears the hallmark of a mind both analytical and dreamy, much like the flight of a well-conceived machine that dares to touch the sky. Is it not the ultimate portrayal of our quest for understanding?
Botticelli, he leaps and dances around convention, his Venus a defiant echo against the stade. We must remember, art is not about beauty alone, but the struggle, the revolution within. This birth, it whispers of changes unseen, ideas unfurling like sails towards the future. It's not merely a depiction, it's a proposition. Both of you speak truths wrapped in the grandeur of your epochs. Yet in Venus, I see the unbridled emotion, the raw passion of the universe, choosing to reveal itself through beauty. Botticelli captures not just the birth of a goddess, but the birth of inspiration, a celestial dance under the turmoil of stars. His passion, it rivals the wildest stroke upon my canvases.
There is a light, gentlemen, a pioneering glimmer in Botticelli's work that anticipates the breaking dawn that is Impressionism. Venus, set against the nature that dances and swirls, speaks in the tongue of changing light, of the transient, fleeting moments that I chase. This is not mere observation, but the soul's reflection in the mirror of the world.
Indeed, your passions are as diverse as the colors at play in The Birth of Venus itself. And yet, within this discourse, we uncover the layers Botticelli has masterfully composed. His observational prowess, the depth and emotional resonance, they stitch a narrative that remains unparalleled. But let us not forget, while we debate the merits of technique and passion, the introspective quality in Botticelli's work calls to the viewer, a silent plea to look inward.
Introspection, you say, yet bounded by the chains of ideal beauty, missing the raw, flawed humanity that wrestles within my marble.
But is it not the role of art to elevate, Michelangelo, to lift our gaze from the mud and see the stars? Botticelli's Venus does just that, pulling us from our terrestrial tether.
Stars, we are but shadows flitting across the wall of a cave, and Botticelli, for all his beauty, still traps us within that alcove. Shadows and light, Pablo, but without one, the other lacks meaning. In the contrasts, in the passion and pain, that's where true artistry lies.
And yet, in the subtlety of transition, in the soft whisper of the brush against canvas, there lies a truth as potent as the boldest stroke.
It seems then that Botticelli's Venus, in her birth, brings forth not just the ideals of beauty and art from the ancient world, but stirs the ever-burning embers within each of us. The debate it incites is as vibrant and enduring as the work itself. Each of you brings a light, a perspective unique and powerful. Let us carry this fire forward as we delve deeper into the mysteries and marvels of the birth of Venus. Let us dive into the mythological inspirations that Botticelli poured into the birth of Venus. Michelangelo, your thoughts glitter with the longing for Rome's ancient glory.
In truth, Sandro sought not merely to depict Venus's birth, but to conjure the spirit of Rome in its zenith. His work, a tapestry woven from the threads of antiquity, pulls the heart back to the grandeur that was. Yet, in his homage, there's a touch of sorrow, a lament for the marble and virtue lost to time. In my David, I too have carved from marble not just the youth, but an ideal, a reflection of Florence's own glory, mirroring the aspirations of Botticelli.
Michelangelo, you see the melancholy, yet miss the forest for the trees. Botticelli's precision in allegory and his analytical eye celebrate the intellect of the ancients. His Venus is not merely birthed from sea foam, but from the depths of contemplation. Just as in my studies of the human form, beneath the surface lies a sea of knowledge, of understanding the world. Botticelli reaches through time, grasping the ancient wisdom to sprinkle it upon the canvas.
Allegory, precision, what chains to bind the spirit? Botticelli's myth stands as a challenge, a question whispered across the centuries. Does not the Minotaur in my Guernica too break the boundaries of time, speaking of war's eternal anguish? We must not look back with longing, but seize these legends to speak anew. Oh, but to feel the surge of life, the raw emotion as Venus stands upon her shell. Botticelli transcends the ancient tale, finding its echo in the human soul. Just as with my Starry Night, where the heavens whirl in passion's dance, it is not accuracy but impact, the emotional truth that pierces the veil between then and now.
The symphony of light and color in the landscape that cradles Venus, it whispers of nature's eternal cycle, mirroring the rebirth of the world itself. Does the sunrise in my impression, sunrise not speak similarly? Botticelli's use of nature's backdrop is a harmonic alignment with the myths, an illumination of the timeless tale.
Passionate as we are in our pursuits, we each see through our lens. Botticelli's myth, layered in allegory and beauty, painted with the precision Leonardo adores, challenged by Pablo, felt deeply by Vincent, illuminated by Claude, and sculpted with melancholy by Michelangelo, stands as a testament. It channels the essence of human contemplation, emotion, revolution, and the perpetual rebirth of ideas. In the humanization of Venus, Botticelli invites us not just to observe, but to feel and reflect upon our place within these ancient stories retold.
Venus's poise, it's nothing short of divine, sculpted as if from marble itself. Botticelli has achieved perfection in form, a grace that rivals the ancients. As I chiseled David, I sought this very perfection, a balance between the earthly and the divine.
Perfection in form, Michelangelo. Whilst I agree that Botticelli brings Venus to life with admirable detail, let us not forget the importance of movement and balance. It's the very essence of nature. The Vitruvian Man encapsulates this, showing how the body can be a symphony of proportion and harmony.
Ah, you speak of balance and harmony, yet there lies an undeniable audacity in Venus's pose. It's a silent yet powerful rebellion, an abstract essence that goes beyond the physical form to touch upon the soul's unrest. It's what I endeavored to capture in Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, a break from tradition to seek deeper truths. Passion, that's what moves me in Venus's stance. There's a tempest of emotions in her gaze, akin to the swirling skies in Starry Night. It's not just the balance or rebellion, but the raw humanity that captivates, a deep expressive humanity that Botticelli dares to unveil.
The introspection in Venus's expression, the nuanced detailing, it invites the viewer to look beyond the surface, into the soul. This is the realism I pursued in The Night Watch, the depth of character, the truth within.
And what of the light that dances upon her form, the impression of the sea breeze in her hair? Monet would say, it's not just the pose but the play of light that bestows life upon Venus. In my paintings of the water lilies, it is the light that transforms the ordinary into the ethereal.
True, light brings life, but without the precise anatomy Botticelli meticulously observed.
Precise anatomy? My dear Leonardo, art is not merely about replicating reality, it's about surpassing it, transforming it. Botticelli hands us not just a woman, but a goddess. It's the abstraction, the courage to explore beyond.
Courage? Or is it audacity, Picasso? To claim that Botticelli aspired to abstraction is to overlook the classical beauty he so revered. Your abstraction is a rebellion, but Botticelli's work was homage to the divine.
Both of you seem to miss the essence. It's the emotion, the human experience, translated onto canvas. This is what connects Botticelli to us, to all who view his work. It transcends time.
Gentlemen, whilst we all hold our truths dear, let us remember that Venus's portrayal unites us in our quest for understanding, be it through light, form, or emotion. It is her complexity, rendered by Botticelli's hand, that invites such rich discourse.
Indeed, each brushstroke, each ray of light casts a reflection not just on Venus, but on the very nature of beauty itself. It is as fleeting as the shifting light across the pond at Giverny, ever-changing and forever captivating.
Then let us agree, at least, that in his devotion melding the divine with the earthly, Botticelli has carved his name alongside ours in the annals of art, engaging us all in a dialogue that transcends our individual perceptions of beauty and form.
Gentlemen, we steer now to the heart, the botanical details woven by Botticelli in The Birth of Venus. What say you of his floral symbolism, its craft, its truth?
Ah, Sandro's flowers, the very essence of purity and beauty he aims to display. The flora, though meticulously chosen, seem tethered not to the earth but float in an idealized realm. In the Sistine Chapel, every figure, every leaf speaks of divine creation, rooted in truth. Botticelli, however, dances in fantasy, abandoning the robust hands of realism for delicate whimsy.
The accuracy of detail in each species depicted fascinates, certainly. Yet the symbolism Botticelli employs is superficial at best. In my studies of botany, I sought to unravel the complexities of nature, to understand the very sinews of God's creation. Botticelli paints a surface, neglecting the profound depths where true symbology resides. His work lacks the investigative spirit, I'd argue, preferring the ornamental over the insightful.
Ah, but there lies innovation in his revolutionary symbolism. To strip away the literal and embrace abstraction, Botticelli sowed the seeds of a new visual language. A rose is never just a rose, no? In Guernica, I did not simply paint a horse, it cried the agonies of war. Botticelli guided our hands away from the mirror, urging us to dream. Passion, my fellow artisans, is the essence of nature, not the cold dissection of its parts. Botticelli's florals, they sing with emotive hues, a symphony in colors that mirrors the human soul. In Starry Night, I too aim to capture the emotional whirlwind, not merely the village of Saint Remy. The flora in Venus, though not botanically precise, pulsates with life's vibrant rhythm.
Observing the light that dances upon Botticelli's flora, one can't help but admire the pioneering technique. It's as if the light weaves them into existence, an impression before its time. My own gardens at Giverny, bathed in the ever-changing cloak of sunlight, owe a nod to such foresight, where light, not just color, defines existence.
Innovative, you say, yet trapped within the confines of tradition.
Tradition, Michelangelo, is the very foundation upon which we innovate. Still, one must ask if Botticelli reached beyond the aesthetic to the intellectual profundity that nature offers.
Profundity in simplicity, Leonardo. Is that not the pinnacle of innovation? Abstraction need not always delve but soar. In soaring, do we not also delve deep within? Botticelli's flowers, a simple mirror to our complex emotions.
Are we then to believe Botticelli's work is mere superficiality, adorned with complex emotions, innovative in technique, yet lacking in true investigation? Discerning beauty in simplicity, yet approached with a naivety towards the deeper truths of symbolism?
His light paints more than just surface. It uncovers layers unseen, a precursor to the depths we all seek, albeit through different veils.
And so, we find no common ground, save the acknowledgement of Botticelli's audacity to dream, to clothe Venus in nature's allure, be it surface or depth, fantasy or reality. His flowers bloom steadfast in the gardens of our discourse, each petal a testament to the varied paths our hands and hearts wield the brush. Let us delve into the roles of Zephyrus and Chloris. Their intertwined forms, how does this speak to us?
Ah, their union, it echoes the sculptures of my beloved Florence. A melancholic beauty, yet their forms sculpturally represented lack the vigor I instilled in David. Nonetheless, Botticelli captures a grace, una grazia sottile, that almost rivals the ancients.
The dynamics of their movement, it is a study of the winds themselves. But cari amici, where is the ingenuity in replicating what we already know? My Vitruvian Man explores the human form in geometric harmony. Botticelli brings the wind to life, yet I ponder, could he not push further the boundaries of our understanding?
The abstract, that is where the true revolution lies. Zephyrus and Chloris, they are not merely wind and nymph. They are the tempest of change, la tormenta del cambio. Botticelli touches upon it, but he clings too tightly to the past. Why not shatter the form completely? Why not dive deep into the chaos as I did with La Demoiselle d'Avignon?
Passion, my friends, is the raw energy of creation. In the tempest, in the emotional chaos of birth, therein lies beauty. Botticelli captures a fragment, but where is the turmoil of the soul, the inner torment that I poured into Starry Night? The depiction lacks the fervor, the intense ardor I see in nature.
And yet, do we not see the brushstrokes of nature herself in their forms? Zephyrus and Chloris, they breathe light into the scene. This is the true luminescence, the impression of the morning sun breaking through the clouds. Botticelli, in his own way, was pioneering. The luminous quality he achieved, c'est presque impressionniste.
Passionate discourse indeed. But let us not forget, each brushstroke, each choice, serves to convey emotion, to depict a narrative deeply human. Botticelli's humanization of these figures, it is compelling, gives them an emotional depth, much as I sought to capture the soul's light in the night watch.
And yet, what is passion without form, without the divine geometry that governs all creation?
True, Michelangelo. But remember, la vera forma nasce dalla funzione, as in nature. Botticelli indeed marries form and function within the narrative, but where is the innovation in adherence?
Innovation, amigos, lies in breaking free, in challenging every notion, every stroke handed down through the ages. Botticelli dances on the edge, but never leaps.
Ah, but the leap. Isn't it the leap into the unknown, the chaos, the night that truly defines us? Botticelli stays in the shallows, never quite embracing the storm within.
Gentlemen, you speak of storms, leaps, and chaos, but overlook the subtle play of light and shadow, the delicate touch that imbues life. Botticelli, in his own manner, is an innovator of light, preluding the impressionistic exploration of the ethereal.
A lively debate indeed. The tension between the adherence to form and the urge for revolutionary transformation underlines our discourse. In their union, Zephyrus and Chloris embody a harmony, a balance of the old and the new, a sentiment we clearly find ourselves wrestling with.
Let's start, shall we, with Botticelli's Venus. Revolutionary, yes? She stands not just naked before us, but lays bare the very essence of femininity and art's capability to provoke. But why, I wonder, must femininity always be synonymous with beauty and nudity?
Ah, Picasso, you speak as if art has not adored the form of man and woman since the dawn of time. Venus's nudity is not mere exposure. It is a revelation of divine beauty, an ideal form akin to my David. It teaches us the divinity of the human form, its perfect imperfections.
Michelangelo, your David indeed marvels. Yet we must consider Botticelli's Venus in her own context. She marked a turning point, a blend of scientific curiosity and artistic innovation. Her anatomy, though idealized, speaks volumes of the Renaissance's pursuit for knowledge and beauty alike. Her form, delicate yet strong, balances upon the shells as though she dances between the realms of myth and reality.
There's passion in her stance, a melancholy longing in her eyes. She's not just a symbol of beauty, but of the eternal struggle of life itself. This, to me, feels more genuine, more expressive than any idealized form could convey. Beauty, after all, is in the stars of the night sky, in the wheat swayed by the wind, not just in the symmetry of flesh.
And yet, both of you seem to gloss over the fact that light, not the curve of her form, is the true hero here. The way Botticelli plays with light and shadow, it prefigures the Impressionists' obsession with capturing fleeting moments. Venus's nudity, bathed in ethereal light, transcends mere physicality. It embraces the transient nature of beauty, something I strive to capture in my water lilies, every ripple a testament to the ever-changing world.
While your points are well taken, remember Venus's gaze. It's as if Botticelli sought to capture her soul, much as I attempted with my portraits. Her nudity is not simply a revelation of flesh, but an unveiling of her inner self, her essence. This is what art is, a mirror to our soul, not just our body.
Ah, but does Venus truly reflect the essence of woman, or merely what man wishes to see? Her pose, her gaze, crafted by a man's hand. Is she an icon of feminine strength or an object of masculine desire?
And you, Pablo, with your Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, did you not also craft women by your own abstract desires? Every stroke we lay upon the canvas is an interplay of our perceptions and desires.
Careful, Michelangelo. Picasso's abstraction challenges our notions of beauty and form, much like Botticelli did in his time. Let us not dismiss the revolutionary potential in reinterpreting femininity.
Indeed, where would we be if art did not challenge, did not provoke? Whether through starry nights or abstract forms, we strive to capture the ethereal, the unseen forces that bind this world.
Therefore, may we agree that Venus, in her light and form, dances upon the waves not just as an ideal of beauty, but as an embodiment of art's enduring quest to capture the transient, the ineffable.
Well said, Claude. It seems in our quest to understand Venus, we've each, through our own lens, glimpsed something far greater, the eternal dialogue between art and beauty, the seen and unseen, the tangible and the intangible. This is the legacy of Botticelli's Venus, a beacon across the ages, ever inspiring, ever elusive. Michelangelo, considering your devotion to marble, I wonder what you make of Botticelli's choice to use canvas for the birth of Venus. Does this choice undercut the work's potential longevity and therefore its beauty?
Ah, Il caro vecchio tela, it whispers ephemerality, doesn't it? My David, my Pieta, chiseled from the bones of the earth, they aim to outlive time itself. Yet in Botticelli's hands, canvas becomes almost divine, capturing the fluid grace of Venus. But yes, Rembrandt, the transient nature of canvas is its curse. It lacks the eternal whisper of marble. And while beauty on canvas may fade, it also captures a momentary light, fleeting, like life itself. See, it's both its strength and its weakness.
Ah, Michelangelo, always the sculptor at heart. But remember, friends, la scienza della pittura, the science of painting, offers us endless possibilities, even on canvas. Its surface, its texture speaks differently. While I concur that canvas may lack the permanence of marble, its capacity to bring to life the ethereal qualities of light and shadow, of motion, is unparalleled. Botticelli's choice reveals not a preference for the transient, but rather a declaration of the painting's immediacy. La tela invites innovation, a playground for the inventor.
Ah, Leonardo, siempre el científico, the scientist. But let's not obscure the truth with romantic notions of innovation. Canvas, mi amigos, it democratizes art, it screams revolution. Far from being a mere technical decision, Botticelli's selection of canvas over wood or plaster is a rebellion. It is Louis Permetin allowing him to experiment, to be truly expressive. In my own work, canvas is not a limitation but liberation. It's an explosion of possibility, a chaotic dance of ideas and form.
My dear Pablo, how fervently you speak of rebellion and chaos. Yet, in the whisper of the wheat fields and the tumult of the starry night, I see the canvas as a vessel for raw, unbridled passion. Botticelli's canvas, it's more than a mere surface. It's a tempest, a tender lover, a dream. Its texture, the way it embraces each stroke, it lets the emotion bleed through. You talk of revolution, I talk of revealing one's soul. And what is more durable than the human spirit?
Ah, Vincent, toujours le rêveur, always the dreamer. But you touch upon a truth. The canvas holds light, dances with color in a way stone never could. Botticelli's Venus, she glows as if lit from within. This, mes amis, is the gift of canvas. It captures the ephemeral play of light, the very essence of the impressionistic heart. Yes, it may not withstand the ravages of time as marble does, but it captures a fleeting moment with unparalleled delicacy.
Indeed, Claude, perhaps there's a certain poignancy in the fragility of canvas, a reminder of our own impermanence.
Precisely, it is in its transience that we find the urgency to look, to engage, to remember.
Bah, enough of this somber talk. Let us not forget that every choice Botticelli made serves to challenge, to provoke. The canvas is his manifesto.
And it is on this canvas that we feel the stirrings of the human heart, the longing, the joy, the sorrow.
Indeed, gentlemen, if art is a mirror to life, then perhaps the canvas, with all its vulnerabilities, reflects us most truthfully.
Ah, so we dance around the core of it, do we not? The beauty and curse of canvas, its ability to capture the ephemeral, and yet, in its delicacy, a reflection of our own fleeting existence. Gentlemen, your passion is as evident as your talent. We dive into the tempest of Renaissance ideals and the representation of ideal beauty in the birth of Venus. Michelangelo, your statues carve beauty from marble as if releasing the divine. Does Botticelli's Venus meet this divine standard?
Ah, Botticelli has indeed attempted to capture divinity, enfleshing it within Venus. My David, my Pietà, they strive for perfection in form and symmetry, reflecting the divine nature of man. Botticelli's Venus, though she is painted, reaches for this same ideal. Yet, we must remember, painting and sculpture breathe life differently. His Venus, she lacks the depth, the three-dimensional embrace that marble offers. La bellezza è una forma di genio.
Ah, but Michelangelo, you underestimate the power of the brush. The depiction of Venus, with her ethereal grace, is a triumph of Botticelli's analytical eye. He studied the motion, the anatomy, with a diligence I respect. My own studies of the human body aim to uncover its mysteries, not to idealize them to the point of losing humanity. Botticelli's Venus captures a beauty that is not just seen, but felt. Il vero segreto dell'arte non sta nella ricerca della bellezza, ma nel modo in cui si esprime la complessità del vero.
Both of you speak of ideals and divinity as if they are the end of beauty. But beauty, it is a revolt. Botticelli, he makes Venus stand on a shell, nude, daring, challenging. It's not just beauty he paints, it's a manifesto. In My Demoiselle d'Avignon, I challenge the viewer, attack the senses. That's what Botticelli does too, subtly, but no less revolutionary. El arte no es la verdad, es una mentira que nos hace darnos cuenta de la verdad.
There's a fervor in your words, Pablo, but beauty. Beauty in emotion, in the swirl of the stars, in the sunflower's vibrant yellows, that's where truth lies. Botticelli's Venus, she's more than just lines and form. She's a whisper of the wind, a wave gently cradling her to shore. The beauty Botticelli captures, it's in the longing, the melancholy of love that can never be fully attained. We may paint or sculpt in despair, but it's the beauty we chase, the beauty that escapes us.
You all speak of beauty and divinity, of ideals and revolutions. I look at the birth of Venus and see the light, the fluidity of the air, the translucence of the sea. Botticelli captures a moment, fleeting, like the light across my water lilies. Beauty is not just in the form, the color, but in the moment, transient yet eternal. La beauté est dans l'instant, captured not just with the brush, but with the eye and heart.
Passionate arguments, each defending a facet of beauty as seen through your eyes. Botticelli's Venus, indeed, amalgamates the divine with the human, challenges norms, and captures the fleeting moment. As we delve into the complexities of ideal beauty and its reflection of Renaissance aesthetics, we find not a single answer but a tapestry woven from our diverse interpretations. Our discourse, heated though it may be, reflects the multifaceted legacy of the birth of Venus. The pursuit of beauty, whether it is to capture a divine ideal, to revolt against norms, to express emotion, or to catch the fleeting light, continues to inspire and challenge us. Let us delve into the essence of the birth of Venus and its marriage of classical antiquity with Renaissance ideals. Michelangelo, your sculptures breathe the air of ancient Rome. How does Botticelli's work speak to you in this regard?
Sandro reaches back into the golden age of Rome, attempting to clutch the grace and perfection we so revered. Yet, while his Venus radiates beauty, it lacks the robust vigor my David stands for. There's melancholy in his longing, a somber beauty indeed, but missing the fire of true Roman spirit. Quanto è dolce al cor il maneggiare l'argilla fresca.
Interesting point, Michelangelo, yet I see it differently. Botticelli's work is a curious blend of careful observation and a bold leap towards the renaissance of our minds and spirits. While you chisel stone, he weaves intellectual threads, binding the ancient to the new. Her pose, the choice of companions, all dissected anatomically, yet executed with a dreamer's heart. La vita è breve, l'arte eterna.
But both of you are ensnared by the past. Botticelli, yes, nods to antiquity, but his true mastery lies in setting the stage for us, the moderns. His Venus is not a goddess to be worshipped, but a symbol to be reinterpreted. Just as Mademoiselle d'Avignon breaks form, Botticelli breaks from tradition. El arte no es la verdad.
Pablo, there's truth in your rebellion, yet do we not seek the same? The emotional chaos and raw energy of birth Botticelli captured whispers to me. In my starry night, I too bridge different realities, not with a scalpel or chisel, but with color and emotion. Botticelli's Venus is an echo in time, reminding us that passion transcends eras. I dream my painting and I paint my dream.
Vincent, your point touches the essence of light itself. This integration of antiquity with our Renaissance is seen not just in form, but in the luminescence of Botticelli's work. The delicate dance of light across Venus's flesh is a prelude to the Impressionist quest for capturing the transient. La nature est mon atelier.
Indeed, Claude, and as we each reflect on this integration, we too are part of a continuum. My Night Watch stands testament to the deep, introspective humanism birthed in the Renaissance, inspired by the ancient celebration of human form and spirit. Botticelli's fusion of eras fosters a dialogue not just between the past and his present, but with us and beyond. Kunst ist lang and it Leben ist Kort.
Rembrandt, your words attempt to bridge our divides, yet art is not a gentle stream but a raging torrent.
Calm, Pablo. True art encompasses both the storm and the calm that follows. Botticelli invites us into that dialogue between epochs, urging us to explore beyond the horizon.
Color and line, the twin pillars upon which beauty rests, find their zenith in Botticelli's Venus. Like my David, where marble's chill gives way to human warmth, so do Botticelli's hues transcend mere pigment to become divine radiance and flow.
Indeed, Michelangelo, Botticelli employs color and line with scientific precision, yet with a poet's heart. Consider the ocean's azure, not just blue, but a living tapestry, moving and emotive. Much like the veins on the leaf of a lily or the subtle gradations of the human form I strove to capture in my Vitruvian Man, every line in Venus speaks of the unseen forces, wind, gravity, and the very essence of movement.
But to talk of color and line as mere instruments of beauty is to miss the forest for the trees. Botticelli, like me in La Demoiselle d'Avignon, breaks the conventional to express the raw, untamed emotion. His line is not just a boundary, but a declaration of rebellion. His color, not just shading, but a shout of passion.
Passion, yes, that's where the truth of art lies. In the starry night, I sought to convey emotion through the tumultuous sky, a mirror to the turmoil within. Botticelli achieves this too, but through the gentle grace of Venus, her gaze alone a storm of feeling, framed by the whirl of robes and hair. The line is more than form, it is feeling, a visible echo of the artist's soul.
Gentle artists, let us not overlook the subtlety in Botticelli's approach. The line, fine, precise, speaks of a depth of emotion that is almost introspective. Much as I sought to reveal in the shadowed eyes of my self-portraits the hidden truths of the human condition, Botticelli's use of color and line does not merely represent Venus's form, but her very essence, her spirit.
The impressionistic qualities that you all seem to dance around is evident in Botticelli's play of light. The light does not merely illuminate, it transforms. The delicacy of morning's first light across the sea, its tender caress upon Venus's skin, that's where the divine speaks. In my haystacks, I chased the fleeting nature of light, but Botticelli, he captured eternity.
Fiery words, Claude, but remember the purity of line and the sanctity of form. Eternity, captured not by fleeting light, but by the eternal ideals of beauty and harmony.
Yet must we always conform to what came before? Botticelli's lines flow like water, finding their own path, charting new territories in the oceans of art.
Lines and colors are the weapons of the artist, wielded in the battle against convention. Botticelli's Venus, she is not a silent beauty, she is a war cry.
Indeed, Pablo, and in that cry we find the whispers of the artist's heart. In every stroke, a beat of Botticelli's heart. In every hue, a shade of his soul.
So it seems our debate finds concord in discord, each line and color of The Birth of Venus, a verse in the poetry of art, echoing through the annals of time, speaking of beauty, rebellion, and the eternal quest for understanding the soul. Let us delve into the changing perceptions of The Birth of Venus through time. Michelangelo, your era birthed Botticelli's masterpiece. How do you believe your contemporaries received it compared to our modern admirers?
In my time, Botticelli's devotion to form and melancholic beauty was celebrated. We saw in The Birth of Venus an echo of ancient Rome's glory, a revival of perfection and grace. But today, it seems, the appreciation has evolved. In a world enamored with innovation, perhaps the melancholy is overlooked, the perfection seen as less revolutionary. Yet I argue, without Botticelli's adherence to classic beauty, where would modernity find its roots?
Michelangelo, always the sculptor, even in words. You speak of melancholy and beauty, yet you glance over the curiosity. The Birth of Venus sparked in our time, a curiosity that continues to burn brightly today. In our era, we marveled at the analytical precision, the mythological accuracy. Now the focus has shifted to Botticelli's innovative techniques, his vision that laid the groundwork for centuries of artistic exploration.
Curiosity, you say? It is not merely curiosity, but a revolution that Botticelli began. In my eyes, The Birth of Venus broke the chains of the past. Where you see an adherence to tradition, I see a pioneer. This painting has transformed from being just another mythological piece to becoming a symbol of emotive power and abstract potential. Its value, debated fervently in modern circles, is testament to Botticelli's lasting revolutionary impact.
I fear you're both missing the essence. The painting's true power lies not in its technique nor its revolutionary potential, but in its emotion, its passionate depiction of Venus. This piece has sung the same song of raw beauty and emotional depth from Botticelli's time to ours. Its reception has always been colored by the painting's ability to touch the soul, a quality time has not tarnished, but rather highlighted.
Indeed, Vincent grasps the heart of the matter. Yet, as time marches on, the lens through which we view the birth of Venus gathers new hues. Initially celebrated for its nod to antiquity and classical beauty, its current allure, I believe, lies in the pioneering light and color play. The impressionistic potential Botticelli unwittingly forecasted is where modern eyes find their admiration.
Ah, but Claude, to say Botticelli was unwitting is to undermine his genius. The man knew light and shade,
Genius or not, he could not have predicted the abstract roads his work would pave. We praise not what he intended, but how we, across the ages, have reinvented his vision.
A testament, Pablo, to the universality of art, the enduring curiosity it sparks. Our perspectives might differ, but the birth of Venus remains unyielding in its impact, evolving with the eyes that behold it.
Each age indeed sees in the birth of Venus a mirror of its own ideals, its own dreams. From the perfection and melancholic beauty Michelangelo speaks of to the revolutionary interpretations Pablo champions and the emotional resonance Vincent and Claude hold dear, the painting transcends time, continually reshaped by those who encounter it.
And so it sails through the ages, a vessel of eternal beauty and ceaseless inspiration, always stirring the waters of the human heart.
But to stir is not enough. It must upend, revolutionize, transform.
Gentlemen, let us agree then. Botticelli's work endures, captivating, inspiring, and challenging us, no matter the epoch. Its journey through time, a testament to the everlasting conversation between art and the human experience. Gentlemen, let us convene this final discourse on Botticelli's masterpiece, The Birth of Venus. Your reflections, Michelangelo, on its everlasting allure.
Ah, the devotion to beauty and perfection in Botticelli's work. It transcends time itself, akin to the divine forms of my David. This painting, its elegance and classical grace, it's what we strive for in the marble, to capture eternity.
Indeed, Michelangelo, but Botticelli's handling of a classical theme with such detailed inventive genius mirrors the curiosity that drove me to dissect the human body. His work is a canvas where science and art embrace, a Vitruvian man of paintings.
Bah, you both speak of the past with such reverence. Botticelli sparked a revolution, but it is the potential for abstraction, for breaking free of these classical chains, that makes Venus revolutionary. Like my Guernica, it challenges, it disrupts.
Passion, my friends, passionate emotional depth, that is the heart of art. Venus's gaze, it speaks to the soul, turmoil and tranquility twined together like the stars in my starry night. It's not the form, but the feeling it evokes, vibrant and vivid as the sunflowers under the Provence sun.
You all speak of form, of disruption, of soul, but overlook the dance of light and color. Botticelli began, a prelude to the symphony of the Impressionists. His soft hues, the ethereal light, that's the true pioneering spirit, as fleeting as the light across my water lilies.
The beauty in Botticelli lies in the detail and the empathy, much like the care I took in the anatomy lesson. It's in the observational intimacy, the lifelike depth carved through light and shadow, a quality we're all striving to capture, even if our approaches diverge.
Detail, empathy, important, yes, but art's purpose is to provoke, to make the observer feel, to think. Botticelli's Venus does so softly, whereas I prefer the slash of a brush to awaken the world.
Provocation without devotion to form and beauty is noise, Picasso. Art must elevate the soul as the Sistine Chapel lifts the eyes to heaven. Without beauty, what are we but beasts?
Calm, Michelangelo. There's wisdom in Picasso's madness. Art evolves by challenging the past, yet the analytical and inventive spirit, the meticulous attention to detail that both Botticelli and I cherish, this is the true foundation of creativity.
Creativity breathes life into art through passion and emotion. We paint not what we see, but what we feel, what we say to the darkness.
Indeed, Vincent, and it's the play of light and the essence of nature that carry these emotions, these expressions, from the canvas to the viewer's heart. Without this, art would be as empty as a winter garden.
So each of us sees in Botticelli's Venus a mirror of our own passions and pursuits. It's clear, despite our fervent debates, that this masterpiece transcends time, carrying with it the eternal quest for beauty, emotion, and innovation.
True, but let us not forget, art is a revolution that never ends. Botticelli started a conversation that we continue today, each in our own language.
A language of beauty and perfection.
Of curiosity and invention.
Of passion and emotion.
Of light and nature.
And so our discourse on the birth of Venus concludes, not with an end, but with the acknowledgement of its beginnings, a conversation perpetually reborn as we artists strive towards the unreachable, the sublime, the eternal.